It's NVHA 080012, our 287th interview overall. It is April the 26th, 2008, and we're in Mulberry, Indiana at the home of Paul Weflen. And first of all, I'd like to thank you for allowing us to come and do this interview.
My pleasure.
Let's start off with the basics. What is your full name?
Paul Arthur Weflen.
Now Paul or the Arthur, were those family names?
No.
Okay.
No.
Mom just liked the name.
I guess.
Yeah, well, that's a nice combination. Paul Arthur. I haven't heard that combination. That's a good one. And what is your date of birth?
8/31/26.
Okay, so you're just 1 day younger than me. I was born on August 30th.
Oh.
And what was your rank at discharge?
Seaman first class.
Okay. Well, Seaman Weflen, where were you born?
In Renville County, Minnesota.
Okay. Now that's close to where?
Well, it's about 140 miles west of Minneapolis.
Okay.
Close to the South Dakota border.
All right. Yeah.
Farming country. Born on a farm, of course.
Born on a farm. Probably born at the home?
No, I'm not even, I don't even know for sure where I was born.
Okay.
Probably in, I would guess at home, yeah. I don't know that.
Yeah. Now, is the farm still there? Have you been back to it?
We've been back to it, but it's no longer in the family.
Oh,
it's
okay.
long gone. My dad quit farming, I think about 1947 or 48,
Okay.
and moved off the farm, and that was the end of our connections with the farm.
Yeah. Can you maybe give a crossroads where it might be? A little more, in case somebody years from now wants to look for it.
Okay, it was halfway between Maynard, Minnesota, which is a small town,
Okay.
and Granite Falls.
Okay.
We're 5 miles from Granite and 5 miles from Maynard.
Yeah, that narrows it down.
And I can't give you any road. The roads didn't have names or numbers
Right.
in 1926.
Yeah. Yeah, but that narrows it down pretty good. At least they'll know the area and the region.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Highway 13 now, I think, is a couple of miles from where the home place was.
Okay. All right.
Headed south.
Well, you don't know exactly where you were born, but I'll bet your mother was there at the time.
She was there.
Okay.
I'm quite sure of that.
I almost always get that right.
Yeah.
Now tell me a little bit about your mom. What was her name?
Her name was Anna Christine Eliasson Griffey Weflen.
Wow.
She was born in Norway.
Yeah.
1888.
Huh.
Emigrated in 1908.
Now, and what was the maiden name?
Well, her real name was Eliasson, but she was adopted, or her foster parents' name was Grythe, Grythe.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So she went by both names. Anna Christine Eliasson was her real name.
Okay. Okay. What would you tell folks about her? What was she like?
My daughter asked me that just the other day. She was a quiet person, pretty I don't want to say subservient, but my dad was the driving force in the family.
Right.
She was,
Right.
and I think that was typical maybe of those times.
Right.
She was quiet, pretty much strict disciplinarian.
Yeah.
There was 9 of us kids,
Oh boy.
and we pretty much all towed the line.
Yeah. It's a good thing.
I don't. She died in 1964. So that's a while back too. My dad died in 62, and she couldn't wait to join him.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing that's fairly typical.
Sounded like she was pretty close to him.
Yeah. Yeah, they were close.
Yeah.
They were married for 55 years, I suppose, before Dad died.
Did she ever talk much about the old country, or?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
She never had much to say. In fact, my siblings have commented on that a number of times, that she really never had much to say. I don't think she had a real happy childhood.
Yeah.
Her parents died when she was real young, and of course
my.
she then went to live with this foster family, and maybe didn't have the happiest time.
Yeah.
Her and her sister emigrated at the same time, and I don't know what happened to her and her sister, but they were alienated as well, and her sister lived in Minneapolis, and we lived out, like I said, 140 miles west, and As far as I can remember, there was never any contact
Oh, that's
between
too
Mom
bad.
and her sister.
Yeah.
One of my sisters had some contact with her aunt who lived in Minneapolis,
Right.
but I had never met her.
Well, tell me a little bit about your dad now. First of all, his name.
Peter, Pederh.
Ah, okay. All right.
Second oldest of 13 kids.
Yeah.
His dad died when he was young, so and his elder brother died, so he was pretty much the breadwinner and the caretaker of the family. Everybody else was younger than he, and worked hard and always lived on a farm and worked the farm.
Yeah.
And never really prosperous. I guess we never had much money. But then a lot of people didn't have much money in the 30s and 40s.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That
He
sound
was a versatile person, pretty talented mechanical
yeah.
person, good at improvisation, could fix anything, come up with innovative things,
Right.
and
Yeah, there's an intelligence there that can't be taught in schools.
yeah, it was all native. I think he probably never went to school more. I think he quit school at the 4th grade,
Okay.
but he was literate. He could read and write, and pretty much taught himself, I suppose, up after a fashion. And
Yeah.
he was a nice guy.
You say your
quiet.
mom- go ahead. Say he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. It's a good family trait. I've seen it passed down.
Of course, I was the youngest kid, and they had a pretty tough time in the 40s. Pretty tough time.
Yeah.
My older brother died in January of 41. He was 31 years old and died from a complication after appendicitis
Oh my.
surgery. And then the war came along, and 4 of us kids went into service.
Well, go down through the list of your brothers and sisters and tell me their names and a little something about each one, if you would, please.
Oldest brother was named Gilbert. I don't think he had a middle name. He was the one that died in 1941, January of 41. He was kind of a free spirit, I think. Him being the oldest and me being the youngest, there was not a big connection between us.
Right.
But he would go to Red River Valley in northern Minnesota and North Dakota and in the potato harvest and work that.
Ah.
Ended up in Ellensburg, Washington, working for an apple farmer.
Huh.
And in December of 1940, his boss sent him to Detroit to pick up a new truck. So he went to Detroit and got the truck and drove it back to Washington, and on the way back, of course, he stopped at home.
Right.
And he was there for maybe a week. Then he headed back to Ellensburg. And on the way, he got this attack of appendicitis, and as soon as he got back, he ended up in the hospital. Surgery, and at that time, they kept surgery patients in beds for days and days.
Yeah.
So he ended up with a blood clot, and it killed him.
Oh, for heaven's sakes.
So that was in January of 41.
Yeah.
Next was my sister Alice, who's still alive. She's 96, lives by herself. And she married a farmer and lived on a farm, and they had 5 kids. And their kids are all quite successful, and she's a pretty stalwart person, I guess. She lives by herself still, and up until a few years ago, she was driving the old people to church. And next was my sister Myrtle Violet. She married a guy who worked in a factory in Minneapolis Moly, and remember those tractors?
Oh, sure.
That's where he worked.
Okay.
He died in, gosh, I don't know what year, maybe 1960, something like that. And she died in 2003.
Well, there's a big gap there.
She had 3 kids. I think 3 kids. We weren't real close. And then my brother, Oliver,
Yeah.
no middle name, again.
Yeah.
He lived at home and farmed on his own, rented some ground and farmed. And I was just reading a note from him the other day, a letter that he had written a long time ago. He said he farmed and worked a whole year and he made $300 farming 80 acres. This was in the 30s.
Oh, man.
Well, there again, the war came along, and he and my another brother went to California to work in an aircraft factory.
Okay.
And he stayed out there 9 months, and then he came home and was drafted. I think he got a draft notice and came back, and he was drafted and went in the Army. Ended up as a military policeman and spent most of his time in Yuma, Arizona.
Ah.
Got a medical discharge because something happened, and I'm not sure exactly what, but he lost a good bit of his hearing.
Huh.
There was something about a machine gun.
Ah.
And I don't know the details of that.
Yeah.
And he died in 2004.
Yeah.
Then I have a sister, Helen Dorothy.
Yeah.
She's still alive, and she's 89. Lives in Edina, Minnesota, which is a suburb of Minneapolis.
Right.
She has 3 kids, all girls. She married a guy named Stuber, who worked for an electric company, worked installing power lines in the 30s. He died, and she sold their house and moved into a high-rise apartment building and still there. One of her daughters lives with her. Next was my brother Elmer Peter. He
Spelled the same as your dad?
Yeah.
P-E-D-E-R?
And he had some disabilities. He had, I don't think anybody knew it at the time, but he had what's the ailment where you have seizures?
Epilepsy.
Epilepsy.
Yeah, epilepsy.
It finally determined that he had epilepsy. Late in life, they determined that, and then he was treated for that with medication. So he ended up in Seattle, working for a construction firm. Got married out there late in life. Married a woman with 4 or 5 kids, and she died maybe 1990. And Elmer died in 2003.
Huh.
No, what year was 9/11? 2001.
2001, yeah.
Okay, he died in 2002. He knew he was going to die, and my sister and I, Dorothy, went out to see him in September, late August it must have been early September of 2001. And because it was just shortly after that the thing in New York happened, and the airlines shut down, and we were thinking that we're glad we got back home before the airlines closed down.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, Elmer died in 2003 then, 2002 probably. Yeah. I'm terrible on dates. Yeah. Next was my brother Harold Tyler. He's the one that went to California with Ollie to work in the aircraft factory, and same thing with him. He got his draft notice and came back and was drafted and went into service in '43, and ended up in the Air Corps, Army Air Corps at that time, of course.
Was he a ground crew or pilot?
No, he was a waist gunner on a B-24.
Ah, okay.
And their plane was rammed by a suicide plane over Balikpapan, Borneo on October 3rd of '44, killing them all.
Oh.
That was I think, a longest bombing run that the B-24s ever attempted without fighter escort. And they got into some difficulty there over Borneo, and they recovered the plane after the war was over in the bay there and brought the bodies back in a common container, and they're all buried in St. Louis in in the military cemetery there. So that was one of the things that I told you my folks had a hard time in the 40s.
Yeah.
My brother Gil dying and Harold dying, and after Harold, my brother Marv, is 2 years older than I am, went in the Navy right out of high school. Went to boot camp at Farragut in Idaho, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
Sonar school in Key West, Florida. Ended up on the destroyer USS Renshaw, DD-499. They were torpedoed in, I think, in the Leyte Gulf in February of 45. He said the only thing he could remember of that was general quarters sounding. He was asleep. General quarters, he ran out on deck, and the next thing he knew, he was in a hospital in New Guinea.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Wow.
So he recovered from that and finished out his term and discharged in May of 46. That brings me down to me.
Yeah.
So I went in the Navy right out of high school, June of 44. Early June, I don't remember the date. And went to boot camp at Great Lakes. Signal school in Sampson, New York, Camp Sampson.
Oh, sure.
You heard of that one?
Any chance you ran across a fellow by the name of Ralph Shelburne or maybe Carl Erskine? They were both at Sampson.
No.
Carl Erskine was the baseball player, played for the Dodgers. He was there.
Was he really?
Yeah.
No, I never ran across him. I knew who Carl Erskine was.
Yeah.
No, I never ran across him. Anyway, that's where I went to signal school.
Okay.
So I was a signalman.
Well, let's back up a little bit. I want to get a little bit more detail about growing up. Now, you spent all of your young years on the farm.
Yep.
Did you move any? It was the same farm.
Yep.
Okay. Tell me about the farm. What kind of places were there to play around the farm? I mean, creeks and woods and things like that.
Hawk Creek.
Yeah.
We used to swim in the creek, and as kids, we all did that. We all swam in the creek.
Yeah.
Sans bathing suits, of course.
Oh yeah.
But the leeches were there.
Oh really?
So we'd come out of the creek and dig the leeches out from between our toes.
Oh.
We worked hard. When I was a kid, we were still farming with horses.
Okay.
We had, I think, 8 or 10 horses most of the time.
Yeah.
Of course, it was the kids' job to take care of the horses and feed the horses, clean out the stalls, and milk the cows. And my brother Marv and I milked cows before we went to school in the morning, and did the work after we came home from school. And
How many cows did you have to milk?
at that time, we were milking 28 cows
Holy smokes.
by hand.
Mm.
So we got up early and no electricity.
Oh yeah.
Had a kerosene lantern, and colder than hell in Minnesota, and 4 o'clock in the
I
morning.
reckon. I got a lot of respect for a Minnesota cow. All those cold
We had a
hands.
pretty good. I never thought we were underprivileged or anything. We had a good life. We rode horseback, and I can remember in the early 30s. Not only was there a depression, but there was a drought, and I think it was pretty widespread.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we'd take the cows out and herd them along the road because there wasn't any pasture land to speak of. Nothing was growing much, so we got the grass wherever we could find it.
Wow.
So we did that a lot and spent the whole day on horseback watching the cows. And
Yeah. There's some good points there.
yeah,
What kind of plow horses did your dad use? Percherons or Belgians?
Belgian.
Okay.
We had Maggie, and we had Jiggs, and we had Jim, and Beauty, and Dexter, and can't remember all the names. That's a few of them.
That's pretty good. Did you have a personal favorite?
Beauty,
Yeah.
yeah. Beauty's the one I rode.
Ah.
And I guess the last year when I went to a little country school, one-room country school, and there wasn't very many kids there. I don't know, maybe 15 kids in the whole school.
Yeah.
I think I was the only one in my grade for a long time.
How many grades?
8 grades.
8 grades? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what'd you think of the one-room school situation? Was that a good way to learn, or?
It must have been adequate. I managed to get through high school.
Yeah, yeah.
So I must have had some decent basic training.
I've heard a lot of fellows say that you heard the lessons from the older grades, so that by the time you got there, you were at least exposed to them.
Well, it was pretty hard to keep from hearing the others because the recitation and the whole thing was in one room.
Yeah.
And when it was your turn to recite, which is the way they did it, you'd go up to the front of the room and you'd have a one-on-one with the teacher.
Mm-hmm. Now, was it strictly by year that you graduated, or did the teacher just determine, okay, you know enough now, you can go on to the next level?
No, I think everybody went eight years.
Okay.
As far as I can remember. I don't think anybody ever skipped a grade.
Yeah.
I think that was done, but I can't recall that it was any done ever.
Yeah.
If my sisters ever see this, they'll probably be correcting me.
Did you just have the one teacher all 8 years, or?
No, there was more than one. There was a Helen Kepke was one of them, and a Blanche Jevry was one that I remember. I think she was the last one that I remember. That's Jevry is G-J-E-V-R-E.
Okay.
Another Norwegian.
Yeah. What'd you think of them? Were they good teachers?
Yeah. I was fond of them. I think they were both nice people.
Good.
I don't have any other recollection. They weren't mean.
Yeah. I
don't remember ever getting a whipping.
Well, you were a good boy. You didn't need
it.
Well, tell me a little bit more about the farm. You must have had some chores that you were assigned to. What were some of the things you did work-wise?
The worst damn thing we had to do was clean the chicken house.
Oh.
Of course, we had chickens and we picked the eggs, and like I said, the kids did a lot of the work, the chores, the milking the cows and cleaning the barn out and getting the manure out. And we had pigs, of course, and we had milked the cows, and we separated the milk into cream and skim milk and sold the cream and got butter back in return for some of it, and I'm sure some cash.
Yeah. When you say you separated it out, what's the process there? I've heard that term, but I don't...
You never saw a separator?
Never actually saw it in action.
Well, it's a centrifugal thing. You got a big crank, and you get this thing wound up, and it's weighted so that it has it like a flywheel. So that
Okay.
Once you get it going, it doesn't take much to get it going, and there's a series of cones stacked together, and how it works, I don't know, but it's centrifugal force that separates the heavier cream, or is cream lighter, one or the other.
Yeah.
Separates the cream from the milk, and so you end up with cream and skim milk.
Okay.
So you got a container on the top of the thing, and it's fed through gravity into this centrifugal area where it spins around and around and around, and that's how that's done.
Never really heard it described.
So we always save milk to drink, whole milk.
Yeah.
And the skim milk then was fed to the hogs.
Okay.
My mother was
I like to say that to some of these people who are on these real strict diets now.
Yeah.
Or doing it for fashion.
My mother was a great cook, using heavy cream and butter.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds good.
A lot of it's a wonder we weren't all fatter than hogs.
You worked it off.
Yeah, you worked it off.
We worked hard. I can remember planting, my dad, I never planted corn, but I can remember my dad planting corn with 2 horses and sitting on a sulky all day and planting corn, and you can't imagine how long it took to do that.
Yeah, what was the process there for planting the corn that way?
Originally, they used to check it, what they called check it. Corn was planted in squares 3 feet between the rows and 3 feet between hills.
Yeah.
You stretched out a long chain that had knots on it every 3 feet, and it tripped something on the planter that dropped the seed in every 3 feet along.
Yeah. I hadn't heard that one described either.
That took a long time, and of course after every round, then you had to move this wire. Well, it was a wire
Yeah.
with knots in it,
Yeah.
like a, well, not exactly like barbed wire, but you get the idea.
Sure.
And then at harvest time, of course, you went out and picked it by hand.
Yeah.
And if you picked 100 bushels a day, you were a pretty damn good corn picker.
Yeah. Corn and probably hay.
Flax, and
Flax.
we raised flax, and we raised wheat, and we raised oats
Okay.
and corn,
Right.
and I think some barley.
Pretty good variety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small fields. It wasn't a big farm, 120 acres. Kind of a skimpy living, I think,
Yeah.
and a lot of hard work.
Yeah. Probably just enough to get by on.
Yeah. Of course, you did your own butchering. Pa used to do the butchering. He could butcher pigs or calves or
Yeah.
whatever. Save the blood from the cow, from the calf, to make blood dumplings.
Oh, really?
If you can imagine. You never heard that?
Blood dumplings, huh?
Yep.
Not your favorite.
Not my favorite.
Just like it sounds. That's one that came from the old country that should have stayed.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Now, during the Great Depression, most people who lived on farms say that they ate okay, but they just didn't have anything else.
That's just about the size of it. We had food. We had a garden, of course. We raised vegetables, and we had milk, and we got, like I said, we got butter back from the cream that was sold, and our own hogs and cattle. So we did our own butchering and mock hand meat.
Mm-hmm.
Had a little cellar under the house that was cool enough that you could keep milk down there for a couple of days.
Yeah, no electricity.
But there was no money. There was no money.
Yeah. When you went into town, where would you go?
We went into Granite Falls, which was probably population of about 2,000 maybe.
Yeah.
Good-sized town at that time. And if there was any money at all, we got a nickel or a dime maybe on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
But you could buy an ice cream cone for a nickel.
Sure.
You'd go to the movies for a nickel.
Yeah.
See Tom Mix and Hoot Gibson and Ken Maynard. And
all the good ones.
sit right down there in front.
Yeah. What about when you were young? Did you have any childhood heroes? For some fellows, it'd be aviators or cowboys or someone in the family or someone in the community.
The only one I can think about is Jack Armstrong, the All-American boy.
There you go.
We had sometime along the way we got a radio, and Atwater, Kent, thing was about that long, about that high, a square metal box, run on a 12 volt or two 6-volt batteries, I guess it was.
Yeah.
And Lux Radio Theater, we'd listen to that. And Jack Armstrong, the All-American boy, was on, I think, every day, 4:30 or 5 o'clock.
Durward Kirby tells a funny story about that. He says they were doing a Jack Armstrong episode on the radio, and in order to get the sound of Jack Armstrong in a raft, they had this trough with some paddles, and they were just making that sound there. Well, between shows, the East Coast show and the West Coast show, somebody got the bright idea of putting a little bit of soap suds in there, or soap. And he says they got to doing that, and there was soap all over the studio, and they were laughing, and the sponsor was saying, "What's going on in there?" He said, "That's the West Coast. There wasn't anybody listening there." Oh, boy. Now, you went to the first 8 years at the one-room school, and actually, where was the one-room school?
It was halfway between home and Granite Falls. It was 2.5 miles away.
Okay.
And we mostly walked.
Yeah.
And I tell the kids that we walked over the snow, because the snowbanks were so hard you could walk over them. You could walk over them, literally. In fact, the livestock could walk over them.
Oh, good grief. Wow.
Kids make fun of me for saying that, but that's the fact. So we mostly walked, and if it was real, real, real cold, my dad would take us in a sleigh.
Now you pay big money to go on a sleigh ride.
Yeah, now you do.
It'd be a big tourist thing.
Yeah.
What about Christmas time on the farm? What was that like?
We always had a Christmas tree, and we always had real candles, if you can imagine such a thing. And they'd light the candles.
Yeah, I think
We always had a Christmas program at this little country school. I can remember that.
Yeah.
Gifts, Christmas gifts. Gosh, I don't know. Maybe an orange, maybe one small toy.
Yeah.
Don't have any real strong recollections of Christmas being any big deal.
Yeah. Did you go to church when
Yeah.
you were young?
Yeah, we went to church.
Where?
First Lutheran Church in Granite Falls.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you're Minnesotan, you probably went to a Lutheran church.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
We went when my wife and I made a trip to Europe in 1990 and spent 2 weeks in Norway and found the farm where my mother lived and the little church where she was baptized and confirmed, one of the old Stavkirks.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an old church, and it probably wasn't as big as this room. It was fun.
Yeah, that would be. That would be.
And we went up to the area where my dad's parents were from and found the church that they went to and found a pew with the Weflen name on it.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Wow.
So that was really pretty neat.
That would be.
That's a good thing we got some of those things done while my wife was able to.
Yeah. My brother used to live in Minneapolis and always said that Minnesota was the perfect place for Christmas. There's just something better about it up there. I guess maybe all the snow and the cold. And
snow and cold.
You got more in
Yep.
in the mood for it. You went to high school where?
In Granite Falls.
Granite Falls. Okay. Can you remember any of your teachers from those days?
Any of the teachers?
Yeah.
A couple of them. Miss Goodner taught English. Miss Goodner.
Yeah.
I wasn't very good at English. I could never see the point of nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. What the hell difference does it make what you call them? You use them, and so that wasn't one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
And the shop teacher was Mr. Luke. I remember him. That was my favorite thing, I think, was shop.
Yeah.
And, of course, I was in high school in 1940, 41, 42, 43, and 4.
Yeah.
No, 41, 2, 3, and 4. Graduated in 44.
Okay.
The Navy had a program where the kids in school in shop classes were making model airplanes, exact replicas of enemy airplanes, and painted them flat black. And these were flashed to people who needed to know those planes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, probably a dozen of them or so.
Huh.
So that was a big deal.
Yeah, that would be. That was neat how just students, just everybody got involved in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any kind of scrap drives or anything?
We did have a scrap drive.
Yeah.
We did have a scrap drive, and we went around to the farms and into the ravines and the gullies and the woods and picked up scrap metal.
Yeah.
And brought it in. That was a fun thing. That we got us out of school. And
sounds like you enjoyed getting out of school.
yeah.
Now, what were your strong subjects? But besides, you did well in shop. I mean, were you a good math student or history or anything like that?
I wasn't much of a student at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Not really.
Did you have any idea what you wanted to do once you graduated?
Uh-uh.
Yeah. Of course, then you were probably thinking you're probably going to wind up in the
I was afraid that the
military.
war would be over before I got a chance to get in the service.
Yeah.
I guess that was. I was looking through a booklet thing that we had a 45th class reunion, and just about all of the male class members were in service. I think, without exception. Yeah. I think all of us went in the service immediately out of high school.
Did you have any that left before they graduated?
No.
Okay. Very fortunate there, because a lot of fellows were just a little short of their graduation.
Yeah.
Never got around to getting their high school diploma.
Well, my brother Harold quit high school because he hated it and he just quit, so
Yeah.
he never finished high school. In fact, there was only 3 of us that finished high school out of the 9 kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I was going to ask. Oh, what's the story about Pearl Harbor? Do you remember hearing about that?
Yep.
Where you were?
Quite vividly. Saturday afternoon, I was on duty. Sunday afternoon, I was on duty,
Okay.
and well, I don't know what we were doing, riding around. We were just out goofing off, I suppose.
Yeah.
And came home and got the news that Pearl Harbor had been attacked, and I remember the day quite vividly. Like you remember what you were doing the day Kennedy got shot. It's about the same, about the same deal.
You remember what your personal reaction was to it? Fear or anger?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shock, probably,
Yeah.
more than anything.
Do you have any idea where Pearl Harbor was?
No.
Most people didn't.
No, I didn't know where it was.
You knew,
I'd never heard of it, I don't suppose.
knew about Hawaii, but it was just
it was
distant.
Never Land.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
It really was. And did you suspect that we were going to get involved in the war? I mean, by this time Hitler was doing his mischief in Europe, and
By that time, yeah, I think there was some thought that there was going to be a war, that we were going to get involved.
were you surprised that we wound up getting in the war with the Japanese rather than the Germans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we'd all heard about the Japanese envoy to Washington and what was going on there.
Yeah. Boy. Yeah. And I'm sure you vividly remember hearing Roosevelt do his speech the next morning.
I don't have any vivid recollection of that, no.
Yeah.
Of course, I knew about it after the fact, but I don't remember hearing it.
Yeah.
May have not, I don't know.
Now, did you know that Roosevelt had polio and couldn't walk?
No, I didn't know that until later.
Yeah.
Did you?
No, I just it took a while to hear about it, but they kept that hidden pretty well.
Yeah.
They disguised it well because they would have him standing up before they took the pictures, and
I knew about him going to Warm Springs, but I didn't really know why he was going there.
yeah,
And it must have been a therapy thing.
yeah. It's interesting how they kind of hid all of that.
Actually, I was probably about the most naive kid you ever saw. Sheltered out there in western Minnesota.
Yeah.
Had never been to Minneapolis until I was about a junior in high school. We went to Minneapolis with the, what was FFA
Oh, sure,
thing.
sure. Yeah. Don't you wish you could go back to being sheltered? I don't think we gained much by not. Did they have a baccalaureate service then, or?
We had a baccalaureate
Yeah.
and a commencement exercise.
Was it kind of a sad time, because a lot of these guys they knew were going to be going off to war? Was there any thought about that? Or?
I don't
Yeah.
don't remember feeling sad at all. No.
Yeah.
I think glad to get out of there. Like I said, I wasn't much of a student.
Oh, and in Granite Falls, did they have any kind of a sign to honor the fellows who were in service, or?
They did after the war. I think everybody was
Okay.
everybody from Granite Falls. It was in the military. It was, like they do in a
Right.
stone thing,
Sure.
memorial
Yeah.
thing.
I know sometimes during the war they would keep track of the names. So and so is overseas now, and
I think they did that. You know that all the mothers had a thing they hung in their window, and if you lost a son, you had a gold star. And you had a star for each. If there were 4 kids, you had 4 stars on your little flag that you were hanging in the window.
Yeah.
I remember that. I hadn't thought about that for a long, long time. I
Yeah.
wonder whatever happened to that thing.
They started it up again here recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, they went several years without it, and just since the first Gulf War, or maybe this more recent one, they started doing that again. You don't see them too often because there's not as many. I mean, in your situation, everybody knew somebody who was involved.
Have you been to that memorial in Washington, World War II?
No, no,
Not the two.
no,
My
not yet.
kids have been, well, two of the kids have been there. Well, our daughter lives in Washington, but
Yeah.
Steve was there, and how many stars are there? There's a star for every 100 people who was killed, and
Oh
there's
my!
4,000 stars on there.
Oh boy! Wow!
Amazing thing.
It is. It is. Pretty shocking. Well, I feel so sorry for your mom because having 4 boys, was it 4 boys she had overseas? That had to be awful tough.
Yeah, I don't know how my folks survived that.
Yeah.
Like I said, my brother died in 1941, January of 41, and then Harold died in 44. And Marv's ship was damaged, and he ended up in the hospital, and I was somewhere out there gone, and
Yeah.
it had to be a tough time. I don't know, as a parent, whether I could tolerate that even.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, people talk about the people who served in World War II as being the greatest generation, but I think actually the greater generation were the parents.
The parents
Because
of those people.
they were the adults who had to get you guys through the Great Depression and had the weight of the world on
No
their
kidding.
shoulders. They had the sons and
No
daughters that
kidding.
were overseas.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of respect for those people. Yeah, those were tough times. So you graduated high school and went into the service right after?
Immediately.
Immediately? Okay.
In fact, I was sworn in, I think, before I was out of high school, and left within a day or two of graduation.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah.
That was quick.
And of course, I was only 17 years old, so my dad had to. I'm amazed that he gave permission.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You think your mom would have given permission if it had been all up to her?
Probably not.
Watching her baby go out the door.
Yeah.
3 more over. Yeah. You went to Great Lakes, you say?
Great Lakes.
All right. So, and why the Navy? Did you enlist in the Navy, or?
I enlisted in the Navy. I don't know why the Navy. I guess I was enthralled with the Navy. They had a program that was V8 or some kind of a program where you could get, if you enlisted in the Navy in high school, you had a chance to get in this flight training program.
Sure.
I think
yeah.
that was the appeal.
Yeah.
And of course, I didn't qualify for that, so ended up in the regular Navy. And
But was part of that based on the model airplanes you were
yeah,
putting
I
out?
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was probably some influence there.
Yeah. And to that point, had you ever seen any airplanes? There weren't too many around. Yeah. Any barnstormers or anything? Yeah.
There was no airport in Granite. No.
Yeah. So your only exposure to aviation was pretty much those model airplanes.
Yeah.
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 So you go into Great Lakes, and here you are, a kid that just can't wait to get into the thick
Hey,
of
I
things.
was a scared kid. I told you I'd been to Minneapolis maybe twice
Yeah.
in my life, and here I am going to Chicago.
Chicago.
17 years old, and like I said, a really naive kid.
Yeah.
And it was an awakening, I'll tell you.
You're probably more scared of Chicago than you were the war.
Homesick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got over that, I guess. So we lived in the barracks, of course, and I don't know that. I remember cleaning the floors up there in the barracks where we lived with steel wool and a pad of steel wool in their foot and scrubbing the floor.
Yeah.
You ever hear that before?
Yeah. Every now and again I come across that. Also holy stoning, where they would take a stone and do it. And,
Yeah. So I was there, 8 weeks, I suppose.
yeah. They had a name for that. I can't remember what they called that.
No, I can't either.
Yeah. So what about the training itself? Was it pretty tough, or?
I don't have any recollection of it being really hard. No,
Yeah.
I guess after I got over the homesick, I kind of enjoyed it.
Okay.
Because we'd take a whale boat out on the lake, and we didn't, in the Navy you don't do a lot of close order drill, of course.
Right.
But I'm not even sure what we did for 8 weeks.
Do you have anything where you dived off a platform to simulate
Yes.
jumping off of a ship?
Yes,
Okay.
and to this day I will not get in the water.
Huh. Yeah.
I just damn near drowned. I really did.
Oh, gee.
And that
Oh, my.
business, at a 30-foot tower, we jump off with our clothes on.
Yeah.
And they weren't very pleased with me for some reason. I'm not sure why, but they made me do it 3 times,
Oh, my.
and the 3rd time I couldn't get out. And it pretty much cured me of swimming for the rest of my life. I
yeah.
just turned me off. And if our ship had sunk, I probably would not be here. I'd probably have drowned.
I'm glad your ship didn't sink.
So then we got to New York in the wintertime, and they decided that everybody had to take swimming lessons, or had to swim every day.
Yeah.
And we marched, I don't know how far it was, but quite a ways, to the swimming pool, and then walked back with wet
Ooh.
hair and, it was
Uh-huh.
colder than hell. That wasn't any fun. I hated that.
Well, I bet.
I really hated that.
Now, this is Camp Sampson.
Yeah.
Where's that located? That's
It's at the north end of the first Finger Lake.
okay.
The Finger Lake that's the furthest west. Geneva, New York was a little town there at the end of the lake,
Okay.
just south of Rochester.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I have seen that.
I think that maybe is a state park or maybe a national park now.
Oh, really?
I know we've seen it.
Yeah.
I was there until January of 45.
Okay.
No, late December of 45, I guess.
Okay.
So we got on a train and headed across country.
Late December 44?
December of 44.
44, okay. And then you're going east, you go to Chicago, and you go all the way out to Camp Sampson, and now they got you going back the other way.
And then we went to Treasure Island.
Okay. Well, that's a long train trip.
That's a long train trip.
So tell me about the train trip. That had to have been an experience in itself.
It wasn't any fun. They hooked us onto there must have been, I think, 2 troop cars. They hooked us onto a civilian train on the way at the back. And they fed us after all the civilians had been fed.
Right.
These cars had bunks in them 3 high, and we couldn't go into the regular train.
Huh.
We weren't allowed to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
We could go as far as the dining car and after everybody else had eaten. And it wasn't much fun, and we stopped in Kansas City, and they allowed us to get off. And of course there was a liquor store in this train station there, so everybody bought a jug.
Yeah.
And I don't remember much about the rest of the trip to California. So we left New York in the middle of the winter, colder than Dickens.
Yeah.
Got to Treasure Island, and there's palm trees, and the sun's out. I thought, boy, this is paradise.
You probably didn't do any swimming there.
We did get some liberty, though. We got to take the A train over to San Francisco.
Ah. Okay. So what do you remember about San Francisco in those days?
Bars mostly on
Yeah.
Market Street.
Yeah.
Freedom. Turn a 18-year-old kid loose, and what's he going to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
I liked it. I enjoyed San Francisco. I thought it was a nice place. And we came back 2 different times after I got on the ship. After we came back, we had Liberty in Frisco, so
Yeah.
I got to know a little bit about the town.
Yeah. Never been there, but it always appealed to me. It seems like it's a nice town to visit.
Maxine and I were there in '84. Spent a couple of days there.
Yeah. So you were actually based on Treasure Island? And
For a couple of weeks till I was assigned to this ship.
okay. Okay. And then you got assigned to what ship now?
It was in the Armed Guard. You know what the Armed Guard
Oh,
is?
sure.
It was the SS Junipero Serra. You heard of Father Junipero Serra?
No. Oh, from the Dorchester? Or
He was a mission priest in California.
oh, okay, okay.
Well, this ship was named after him. This was one of Kaiser's Liberty ships.
Okay.
So I was the only signalman aboard. There were maybe 12, 15 gunner's mates, one JG commanding officer there. The Navy contingent was a Lieutenant JG. I was a signalman, and the rest of them were gunners.
Yeah.
We had one 3-inch gun and two 20-millimeter cannons. That was our armament.
Wow.
For whatever that amounted to.
What good that
And I
did
think the
you.
gun wouldn't elevate more than 15 degrees. So if you didn't get him out here, well, you didn't get him at all.
Oh, gee. Wow. Yeah, I've heard that the highest casualty rate in the Navy was in the Armed Guard.
Nobody wanted to get in the Armed Guard.
Nah. So you didn't volunteer for the Armed Guard? They
No, I
just
did not.
Came along and said.
I did not.
Did you know going into it that it was going to be that bad?
No, didn't really know much anything about it. There were two things that we talked about when I was in New York in signal school that you didn't want to do. You didn't want to get in the Armed Guard, and you didn't want to get into the amphibious business, the LSTs and
Yeah. Yeah, you just nothing like driving up to the beach and being shelled and being the biggest target
yeah,
in the area. How do you spell the name of that ship?
JUNJUANIPERO, Serra, SERRA.
Good grief, the thing could have floated on its name all by itself.
Yeah.
Probably longer than the ship.
The thing I remember about that is leaving San Francisco at night. I was the only signalman aboard. I was green as grass. And I was up on the bridge. I was supposed to be up on the bridge watching for signal lights.
Yeah.
I see all these blinking lights around, and what the hell do I do now? It's one of those things where you learn by trial and error, I guess. You know, you got all the schooling you're going to get. The rest of it you're going to learn on your own.
Oh, boy. Well, you didn't hit the bridge, did you? Well, you must have done all right then.
Yeah. So anyway, we left, and I, being the only signalman, had the choice bunk in the place right next to a porthole. Well, we were loaded to the gills with stuff. We were headed for the Philippines.
Yeah.
And we probably had about 4 feet of freeboard. And between Frisco and Pearl, have you ever sailed out there?
Yeah.
Ground swells, they called them. Big ground swells. Well, like I said, we had about 4 feet of freeboard, so I went to bed and sound asleep, and boy, all of a sudden I'm all wet. One of those ground swells came over the bulwark and into that porthole, right into our room there.
Wow.
So that was my initiation there, the first night out.
It'd make you worry a little bit.
A little bit. But I got over that. Fortunately, I never got seasick,
Huh.
so I didn't have any problem with that. But we got along all right.
Yeah, I've never figured out how a guy from the plains of Minnesota could get out on the ocean and not get seasick, but
I don't know either, but I never did. I just never got seasick. In fact, I used to enjoy going up in the bow and just standing in there and going up and down like that with
yeah.
the, you know.
Ever see porpoises or flying fish or anything like that?
Yeah, we saw flying fish and we saw porpoises and
Yeah.
saw all of that stuff that everybody sees.
Be entertaining. Now you went from San Francisco to Pearl Harbor, you say?
We went to Manila,
Manila. Oh, you went straight to Manila. Okay.
30 days.
Ooh, 30 days on a
I
Liberty
think,
ship.
I think we were making 6 knots.
Oh, boy. Any kind of a convoy or just going by yourself?
We were by ourselves, and I don't understand that
Oh, my.
because it was early 45, and
Were you zigzagging?
not that I remember.
Huh.
We didn't have anything to do with the merchant marine people,
Right.
the civilian population, and they ran the ship, of course.
Yeah.
We had nothing to do with that,
Yeah.
except that I had the bridge signal lights and the flags and so on. So
Do you have any idea what kind of cargo you were carrying on that trip?
we had some tanks on deck and a lot of foodstuffs
Mm.
in the holds, and I think ammunition probably.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be on an ammunition ship.
Well, it wasn't an ammunition ship per se, but of course we were hauling everything for the
For the tanks.
whoever was over there in the Philippines.
Right. Yeah. So, did you didn't happen to see any submarines or anything along the way?
No,
Yeah.
never saw any hint of trouble at all. Pretty amazing, actually.
It is. It is. That was the one thing. The Pacific is so large, and the Japanese submarine fleet was so small that you had a little bit of a break there, as opposed to the Atlantic, where
There were areas where there was combat, but we apparently avoided those areas by the course they set.
okay.
I'm sure they had it figured out that there wasn't much chance of any danger the way we were going.
Yeah. So you got into Manila. By this time, Manila I think it would have been fairly well secure at that time.
It was secure.
What'd you think of, did you get any shore leave?
Yeah, we went ashore just once, I think.
Yeah.
They unloaded us, and then for some reason we went out and anchored out in the bay for a while, and I'm not sure why.
Huh.
And they had a Liberty barge that came around to the various ships and offloaded people who had Liberty and
Yeah.
brought us back at a specific time.
Yeah. So what was your impression of Manila at the time?
Pretty much like one big slum, as I can recall.
Yeah.
Pretty poor.
Was it pretty beat up with war damage?
It was pretty beat up, and the people were all out on the streets trying to make a living peddling whatever,
Yeah.
peddling food or fruit or their sister or
Yeah. Tough times.
they had little one-horse taxis.
Yeah.
Had one horse and a two-wheeled rickshaw, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what you called them. And a bunch of us were ashore on Liberty, and of course we'd had a little to drink, and we climbed into one of these things, and the poor little horse was having a hell of a time keeping his feet on the ground. So I think we made 2 trips overseas in that merchant ship. Then I came back and I had some leave coming. Oh, one interesting thing that happened. My brother had gotten injured, of course, my brother Marv,
Right.
and he had gotten leave and went back to Minnesota. He was on his way back to San Diego, and he stopped in San Francisco, and we happened to be in Frisco, and he came to the ship and asked one of our kids is always standing watch at the gang deck, at the gangplank, and he came up and asked if Paul was aboard, and the guy said no, Paul left for the weekend, he went up skiing or whatever. Yeah. It so happened there was a guy whose last name was Paul on the ship.
Oh no.
He was gone, but I was asleep 6 feet away from where Marv was.
Oh no.
So he left. He couldn't stay, of course, so
Rats.
he went back to San Diego.
But you didn't get to see him.
Didn't get to see him.
Oh boy, that close. Wow.
But we were in contact, and he got discharged in San Diego, and I got discharged in Seattle.
Okay.
So he bought a 1930 Model A Roadster and drove it up to Seattle, and I had a cousin who was there in the Navy, and he stayed with them for 3 weeks until I got discharged. Then we drove back to Minnesota in this 1930 Model A with no top.
Well, you're a good hardy Minnesotan. A little cool air wouldn't bother you.
Yeah. Well, that was in June, so the weather was nice.
Yeah, boy.
So anyway, after I got back, and we made 2 trips on that merchant ship, and I got back and had some leave coming, so I went back to Minnesota and had travel orders to Seattle and got on that carrier then, on the Ticonderoga.
Okay. Okay.
And I can't tell you when that would have been. I can't. My dates are all fuzzy. It would have been late 45, I think,
Okay.
when I got on the carrier.
Ticonderoga, was that an Essex class?
Yeah,
Okay. I thought it was.
CV-14.
Okay. Well, quite a change from a Liberty ship to a...
Quite a change.
Yeah. Oh, the second Liberty ship trip that you took, where was that?
I can't remember where we went.
Okay.
I have no recollection of where we went. I know we made 2 trips overseas.
Okay. Yeah. Just glad to get back.
Yeah,
So, and you picked up the Ticonderoga in Seattle?
Bremerton.
Bremerton, okay. Okay. So what did you actually do on board the...
I was a signalman there as
Signalman
well.
there.
Yeah, there was K2 division,
Yeah.
signal department, and I got to be good friends with a kid from Idaho, and we went out on a blind date one night, and that's where I met my wife.
Ah, for heaven's sakes. Okay, first of all, do you remember your friend's name?
Yeah, Fred Conkler.
Fred Conker, okay.
He was from, I don't remember the name of the town in Idaho.
Yeah. What would you tell folks about him? What was he like?
He was a nice kid. He was kind of a live wire. I guess we were, if opposites attract, I guess that was us. Because I was kind of dull and he was kind of a live wire and a good dancer, and I wasn't much of a dancer. And
Well, now tell me about this interesting date you went on.
we went, my wife was from here.
Okay.
She was a telephone operator in Lafayette.
Okay.
And in early 1946, I guess they recruited people to go to Seattle and Frisco, I suppose, to man the switchboards because there was a lot of telephone traffic of people
yeah.
coming back.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how she got out there.
Huh.
And they housed these people in barracks. I don't know whether Navy barracks or what. Anyway, they housed them in barracks, and we went. God, I've never talked this much in my life. Anyway, Fred got hooked up with a girl, I think, and had a date, and he said, "Why don't you come along?"
Yeah.
So I went along, and there was a whole bunch of girls living there, so got me fixed up with a date, and that was how I met Maxine. And we went out and we had a good time, I guess. And I went back to see her, and because we were there for a while, and
What was Maxine's maiden name?
Whitlock.
Whitlock, okay.
Mhm.
All right. So, what did you think when you saw her for the first time? What did you think when you saw her for the first time?
Oh, I thought I was in Tall Clover. She was a pretty girl. I'll show you a picture.
Okay.
Can you stop that for a minute and I'll go get it?
Sure. So that's Maxine about the time you met her?
Yeah.
Wow. You're right. She is very pretty. Do you even remember the other girls in the picture?
Yeah, that one next to her is named Seitz, S-E-I-T-Z. What was her last name, and everybody called her Seitz. And the other girl is Marge. Marge, her last name escapes me.
Yeah. Were they all telephone operators?
Yeah.
Okay.
Marge was from Lafayette, Indiana, and Seitz was from someplace else, Kansas, or
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know for sure where she was from.
Maxine ever keep track of them over the years? Or?
Her and Marge had contact, and we did Christmas card things with Seitz for years, for a long time.
Wow. Yeah, I can see where you'd be interested. Oh, my word, yeah.
Yeah, she's a good-looking kid.
Yes, she... Well, was it love at first sight, or were you so stunned you couldn't talk all night?
Oh, I don't suppose it was love at first sight. I think the attraction grew as we got to know each other a little bit better.
Yeah. How long did you actually go together before you...
Well, that would have been in 46, early 46, so we got married in September of 47.
Okay. And, when you proposed to her, did you get down on one knee and make it a big flower?
Actually, we were sitting in a car. She came to Minnesota to see me, and I had come down to see her, and she came to see me a couple of times, and
Yeah.
of course we wrote letters, and As I remember, I had borrowed a car and we just went out for a drive, and I didn't have a car. Whose car did I have? I don't know. Anyway, I had already bought a ring, so I was pretty confident,
Yeah.
I guess. So we were sitting in the car, and I think out by the airport maybe, and it might have been a foregone thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how she felt.
Well, she didn't say
anyway,
no.
she said she would, so
Yeah.
I lucked out.
Well, the important thing is, what'd your mom think of her?
Mom liked her.
Yeah, that's all that counts.
Yep. Yep.
That gets you in right there.
Yeah, Mac's folks and my folks were of a kind. I think they were, not hardworking people and
Yeah.
not a lot of money.
Were her folks farmers or?
No,
Okay.
her dad worked in a factory in Lafayette.
Okay. All right.
They lived just outside of Mulberry.
Yeah. Did you get married back here?
Yeah,
All
we
right.
got married at a little church over in the country, Fairview Church of the Brethren.
Okay. Yeah. And then you settled in this area?
Then
or-
we lived in Minnesota. Yeah, we went back. I was working for Northwest Airlines at the time
Okay.
as an equipment handler, they called us, unloading luggage, baggage, and I don't think we cleaned the planes. I think one of the more attractive jobs I had was emptying the buckets from the lavatories.
It'd just be like working on the farm.
Yeah. So I did that after I got out of service and worked there about a year, I guess.
Yeah. Well, let's get you back on the Ticonderoga here.
Okay.
You shipped out, and where did you actually go?
We went to Okinawa. Okinawa was by then secured.
Okay.
Someplace along the line we were in Iwo Jima.
Did you actually?
I think that might have been on, I think that merchant ship we might have been up at Iwo.
Ah, okay.
I think that's right.
There again, after it was secured?
Yeah,
Yeah.
shortly after. Because I remember spending 2 or 3 days on the bridge all day and all night, sleeping up there on a cot,
Yeah.
being the only one there. And we had, that was the merchant ship. Because we had cargo for them.
Very, very distinctive island.
Yeah,
A very distinctive profile.
yeah.
Not one you forget.
So that was probably the second trip we did on that merchant ship.
Yeah.
But anyway, then I was on the Ticonderoga, and by then the war was over, I think.
Okay.
And yeah, the ship was in dry dock when I went aboard, and they had taken a suicide plane and sustained quite a bit of damage, so they brought it back and put it in dry dock
Do you know where the plane hit on the ship?
on the starboard side, just below the flying bridge, I think,
Ah,
right about midships.
yeah. Feel sorry
I
for those
forget. I
gunners.
think there was some casualties. I forget how many people were killed.
Probably those gunners that hung over the side, and probably
Yeah.
some of them were.
But anyway, when I went aboard, it was in dry dock, and we left, and they had installed bunks on the hangar deck,
Hmm.
and we went to Okinawa. That's when we went to Okinawa, and picked up troops and hauled them back.
Ah, okay.
I think like 5,000 people.
Yeah, yeah. Magic carpet. Yeah.
And I think we made 2 trips overseas hauling people back. Now I think I'm getting to the point where I can hardly talk.
Sorry.
Now they haul people back by airplane, of course, but then there wasn't that much air transport.
And you had so many. They couldn't have flown them. The planes just weren't that big back then.
Well, DC-3.
Yeah, couldn't handle that many.
So we were hauling people back, and we probably had, 2,500 ship's crew and hauling 5,000
Yeah.
Army guys
Yeah.
sleeping on the hangar deck
Yeah.
and feeding everybody 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
Quite a trick for the mess hall.
That would be. That would be.
Of course, we had ship's company buttons, so we went to the head of the line, and the line was permanent. The line was always there.
Oh yeah. 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 Where did you actually sleep on board?
2 decks below the hangar deck.
Okay.
K2 division. We had bunks 3 high.
Yeah.
I was on the top bunk and had maybe, I don't think I could sleep on my side.
Yeah.
Pretty tight quarters.
As far as your duties on the way over, did you have much to do? And
Not much. Stand watch.
stand watch? Yeah.
Didn't do a hell of a lot. Played cards.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
We had a walk-in storage room next to our compartment, and I think there was a constant pinochle game going there.
Yeah, keep your money close in those kind of situations, because a lot of guys gambled away a lot of money on the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you were in Okinawa, did you actually get off onto the island any?
We did get ashore, and I don't remember that we had any transportation. I think we hiked around, and there wasn't much there. Everything was beat to hell, of course.
Yeah.
Caves, we got into some of the caves where they had used flamethrowers on these guys. My son-in-law was there. Oh, probably 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago when he was in the Pacific, and telling about the big cities that are there now and the skyscrapers, and that
Yeah.
I just couldn't imagine that anything had developed. Of course, that was 60 years ago.
Sure.
A lot of things could happen in 60 years.
Yeah. Oh, that was a tough battle. It started out just so easy, and because they were all concentrated in the south end of the island.
Yeah.
We went up to the north, and there wasn't hardly anything going on. And sure found out when they got down there. Now, do you know where you came into Okinawa? Naha or some place like that? Or?
Buckner Bay.
Buckner Bay, okay. All right.
I don't know whether that's north or south. I suppose it's north.
Yeah.
You gotta remember that I'm a 18, 19-year-old kid, and a lot of these things are going right over my head.
Yeah.
And nobody told us what we were doing or why we were doing it. Or
you were kind of anxious to get into the war before it really ended.
Well, that's what I rember thinking.
But after you got there, were you
that,
just as glad you missed it?
I was ready to get out.
that
Probably,
really changed.
In retrospect, I probably would have been better off if I'd have stayed in the Navy for 20 years and retired with a pension.
Yeah.
I think what dissuaded me probably was they were testing the atom bomb out there on Bikini, and they would have liked for some of us to re-up to go out there and help with that, and I wasn't too thrilled about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nothing like being a guinea pig.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I going to ask? Where were you when they dropped the bombs on Japan? Were you still in Bremerton, or?
We were at sea, and I don't remember where or why, but I don't remember exactly where we were.
Yeah.
That would have been what, in 1945?
August 45.
August of 45.
Yeah.
I would have been still on that merchant ship.
Huh. And was there any kind of celebration when heard that the war had ended?
Yeah, I think we were all happy.
Yeah. Oh, did you happen to cross the equator at any time?
I never got across the equator.
Never got across it. Missed out on the old shellback ceremony.
Nope. Never did.
The Ticonderoga went to Okinawa, picked up Army troops, Army and Marine, or just
Army, I think.
Army. Okay, yeah, there was a lot of Army on Okinawa. Brought him back to Bremerton again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you make another trip out, or
We
was
did make another trip.
Okay.
And I think, I don't remember if we went back to Okinawa or where we went.
Okay.
Everything's a little fuzzy after 60 years. I don't know whether
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know whether you can appreciate that or not.
Sure. Yeah. That was, in a way, it was good duty because you were doing something positive. In another way, the war was over. I want to go home.
I guess I didn't think much about that. I knew that I wasn't eligible for discharge
Right.
yet.
Yeah.
And we're working on a point system, and I don't even know now how they determined the points. You might know, I don't.
Oh, it's
It was length of service and the time spent overseas
length of
and
service,
another-
combat,
some other
family,
factors.
yeah, a lot of different things.
Yeah. So I know Marv got discharged, and I got discharged 3 weeks later. So
Yeah. Well, you actually did pretty good that you got discharged that soon, because you wouldn't have had many points. You weren't married yet. You hadn't been in as long as some of the others had, and so that was very fortunate that
they're
you were
probably
able.
glad to get rid of me. The big pay and all, I had to get cut down the payroll.
Unless you weren't begging to get back in.
I think I was getting $71 a month, 72 maybe.
Well, he's better than farming all year long for $300.
$300.
Curious, you were signalman, and that's a good job. Were there any other jobs on the ship you think you would like to have tried? Captain or?
No, I think I was pretty happy where I was.
Yeah.
We were above deck. We were always above.
Mm-hmm.
We were never working below deck. I definitely didn't want to be in the engine room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was happy up there.
Yeah.
We had a lot of freedom, and we were a right arm rate. Did you know about that? How that was? There were only 2 or 3 right arm rates. Everybody else was a left arm rate. We wore our rate on the right arm.
Okay.
Signalman, quartermasters, bosun's mate, right arm rates.
Now, I didn't know that. I didn't know they separated it like
Yeah.
that.
And I always felt like that was a little measure of prestige, being a right arm rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was happy. I was happy there. I was being a signalman.
Yeah.
I learned quite a bit after I got out of school
Did you?
about being a signalman,
Yeah.
about the procedures and so on. There was very stringent protocol as far as how you contacted other ships or other vessels or a foreign vessel or whatever.
Okay.
And of course, until you used it, well, it was kind of way back in your mind someplace.
Yeah. So how would you contact a foreign vessel?
Well, I didn't actually contact the foreign vessels, but if you saw one, you had a procedure for getting them to identify themselves,
Okay.
which was, I think, international.
Yeah, Morse code or?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, on a blinking light.
Okay. Yeah.
I always kind of admired the radio men because they could do it by sound, and my God, it was so fast.
Yeah.
And our correspondence wasn't near that fast.
Yeah.
We were a lot slower because we had, I don't know why, but you couldn't run a blinker light as fast as you could run that key.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you probably contacted other ships more by light than flags or anything like that, I would think.
Yeah, by light mostly.
Yeah.
And I was sitting here trying to think of the signal that you sent. I think you sent INT-AA, INT-IA, INT being interrogatory,
Okay.
and AA being unknown.
Okay.
And then they were supposed to come back with their recognition signal. And if they did that, then you could identify yourself if the captain allowed that.
Now, what would be a typical recognition signal?
They're, like ours was CV-14,
Okay.
they could come back with their DD-499 or
Oh, so
whatever.
this would be the number on the ship?
Yeah.
Okay. That would make sense. Yeah. That sounds like interesting work.
I'm sorry?
It sounds like interesting work. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of fun, and you could always, if you were in port, tied up someplace, you could always contact somebody on another ship, another signalman.
Yeah.
Where did you go to school? When did you go to school?
Yeah.
Do I know you?
Yeah.
And I did one
you
time
could.
run into a kid I went to school with
Yeah.
on a different ship.
Huh. It's kind of like deaf people who can shout across the room with their hands.
Yeah. Yeah,
I worked with some deaf people, and they
Kinda
did
like
that a
that.
lot.
kind of like that.
Yeah. So you got in the car with your brother and you headed back to Minnesota. Any adventures along the way there?
No, nothing stands out. It was a hell of a long trip.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we did run into a couple of rainstorms and got wet, but
Oh,
we didn't have a
open car.
top for it. This was a roadster with no top.
Oh no, there'd be some disadvantage there.
Montana was a long state. South Dakota was a long state.
Yeah, very much so.
Yep.
And you came back and worked. You came back home for a while.
Yeah, I stayed at home for a while, and they were still threshing in a threshing ring
Right.
at that time. So I was there at threshing time, which would have been August. And then I went to St. Paul, and my sister had a spare room, and I moved in there and stayed with her for a while and got a job at a wholesale hardware outfit for a few months, and then I finally got a job with Northwest Airlines.
Okay.
Lived in St. Paul and worked in Minneapolis, so I rode streetcar to work and worked nights.
So
Then my brother was learning the trade. My brother Ollie was learning the cabinet trade at a place, a custom shop in St. Paul, and he said they were looking for an apprentice upholsterer. So I had to take some kind of a test that see if I was like if I could do that kind of work, and I took the test and they figured out that I could probably learn it. So I got on there as an apprentice, and then the GI Bill. And they got $90 a month from the government and 35 cents an hour from the people I worked for. So I spent 4 years there as an apprentice.
and did you stay with that work for the rest of your life?
That's what I've always done.
Yeah.
I've been self-employed since 1954.
Huh. Wow.
Now retired. I don't work anymore.
Right. Yeah. That's interesting work. When you get done, you can see something that you've done,
Well,
as opposed to just putting a nut on a screw.
yeah, it was fine, except that there's a lot of disadvantages to being self-employed. You don't have the benefits like you guys had.
That's true.
Pay your own insurance and not much of a pension plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we made a living, and I was always home. And I talked about one time finding a different job, and my God, the kids all had a fit. They thought, Dad's not going to be in the shop. And I always had the shop right there at home. And after we moved out here, I had the shop right out there. So
Okay.
my wife and I have been together every day
Wow. That's pretty special.
for 60 years.
Yeah. 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 Now, was the work pretty steady? You have any lean times, or?
I always had a backlog of anywhere from 6 weeks to 3 months.
Wow. That's great. That's great.
Always had enough work to do, more than enough.
Wow. That's so many guys try to make a living on their own, and they don't have the steady income. It's up and down. They struggle with it, but
Well, we
sounds
struggled.
pretty good.
We struggled, but we made it.
Yeah. And you talked about the kids. Tell me their names and a little bit about each one.
Oh, well, you know Steve.
Yeah.
And I told you Steve will be 60 in October.
Yeah.
And he works for General Motors, went to General Motors Institute, graduated in '66, and been with them, and then now with Delphi, of course.
Right.
Worked for Delco Remy, and now he's at Delphi working in Kokomo. And our daughter Ellen is married to a Navy guy who's a 4-star chief of Navy operations. They live in Washington. I have one daughter who's Steve's got 3 kids. Jennifer lives in Denver, and Eric lives in Pendleton, and Michael lives in Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
Eric's an architect, Michael's a school teacher, and Jennifer's an attorney.
Yeah.
Ellen's got one daughter she's a junior at Middlebury College in Vermont. She does not work out of the home, but pretty much hostess for all of the functions that go with being a big-time Navy officer.
Yeah.
Our daughter Karen lives in St. Louis, not married. She has one son who's 22.
Yeah.
And our son Pete lives over by Rossville, which is 10 miles away. They have two daughters.
Okay.
One is a sixth grader and one is a junior in college at University of Southern Indiana.
Well, it sounds like they've all done well.
Yeah. Pete, our son Pete had a stroke 2 years ago. Bad stroke.
Oh.
Really bad stroke. We weren't sure he was going to survive. He was in a coma for 9 days and in the hospital for 3 months.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
He's now not able to walk or not able to drive or work. He is functional. He can walk and talk and take care of himself, but his vision is impaired pretty much.
Mm.
He doesn't see well, so he can't work or drive.
Kind of
And his wife is a school teacher.
little taste of what your mother went through there, just worrying about her kids, and it's a.
Yeah.
I hate to see anybody have to go through a thing like that.
And my wife I told you my wife had a stroke 3 years ago and been in the nursing home. She's lost the use of her left side pretty much. But her speech is okay and her mind's okay, so we're thankful for that.
Tell me a little something about Maxine. What's made her special to you over
Yeah, God,
the years?
she's a special person.
Yeah.
She's a good person. She's a hell of a cook and good mother, good to the kids, good role model.
That means a lot. That means a lot. That's the number one job.
We've had a good life. We've always got well. Obviously, we got along, or we wouldn't have been together for 60 years, being together every day at home.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of give and take.
That is good if you can live together 24 hours a day for all those years and still love each other. That works.
Pretty much the case.
That's great. Yeah. Well, you've had a very interesting life. You've had a good life. You've had good parents and just a good upbringing. Is there anything in life you haven't gotten around to doing that you'd like to do?
Mm-mm.
Very satisfied with things. Yeah.
I've been thankful for that. We were able to take our kids places on camping trips when they were at the age where they could appreciate it.
Yeah.
We never had much money, but we always had enough to eat and always had a place to live. And kids were great. Our kids are great.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like you've done some travel.
We did. We've done a good bit of traveling. We've been in every state except Alaska.
Huh.
And
have you been overseas any or outside?
we took a trip to Europe in 1990
Okay.
and spent 2 weeks in Norway and 2 weeks.
Oh, that's right. You said
2 weeks on a bus tour, Germany and England and France and Italy. And
wow. A lot of good memories.
yeah,
A lot of good memories.
I've got a lot of slides that I think I ought to be doing something with, putting them on a CD or a DVD or something.
Yeah.
I guess that can be done.
Yeah, they can be scanned now and saved.
Be a much better way to look at them.
Yeah, I have one at home that has a slot for that, and it's really neat. You can improve. You know those ones that are kind of reddish, and the whole thing's kind of got a red cast to it. You can just snap the colors right back,
Really.
just the way they were. It's wonderful. Yeah.
You got a kid. I'm a director for the local telephone company, and there's our kids that work up there are all high-tech kids. They're just pretty smart kids, and they got equipment, and I was talking to one of them, and he said, I can do that for you.
Yeah.
So I can do it on the telephone company's time. Don't tell anybody.
They got nothing else to do. It's all automatic anymore. Yeah. Okay. After you two were married, did Maxine continue to work with the phone company?
I'm sorry?
Did Maxine continue to work for the phone company after you were married? Or?
She worked for a little while. She immediately got pregnant, so
Yeah.
almost immediately. I think
Yeah.
Steve was born, we were married in September, he was born in October, so figure it out.
Yeah, I've got one of those. It was a shock, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad we did
Yeah.
when we did.
After the fact, it's good.
Yeah, especially after you get them out of the house.
I wasn't going to say that.
So what'd you get out of being in the Navy?
What did I get out of it?
Yeah, besides getting out of it.
I've always been proud of the fact, I guess, that I was in the Navy. I always was pleased that I was able to serve in the Navy. And my son-in-law being in the Navy is a big treat for me.
Yeah.
And he can talk some Navy stuff to me, and I kind of understand what he's talking about, and we have that together. That's a good thing.
That is. That is.
And our daughter is really hot for the Navy. She's really a good Navy wife.
Ah. There's something to that.
Yeah.
It takes a special
Yeah.
woman to be
Yeah.
a military wife.
Yeah. And Gary will tell you that without Ellen's help, this would not have been possible.
Yeah. It's almost like a pastor's wife. They're just
Yeah.
not everybody can do it.
That's right. So now they're up with the big shots, and they've been to the White House a number of times for receptions and ceremonies and so on, and so that's kind of fun for her. And at the same time, it's kind of a big responsibility.
It is. It is.
Because she entertains, they entertain a lot of foreign dignitaries, chiefs of the Navy from different countries, a lot of different countries,
Ah.
and a lot of ambassadors and people like that. A whole different world from living in Mulberry.
Yeah. Although Mulberry's a pretty good place to be.
Not a bad place.
Not a bad place at all.
What prompted the move down here from St. Paul was the fact that we couldn't afford to live in a very desirable neighborhood in St. Paul.
Right.
And Maxine being from here, and I looked around and there didn't seem to be an overabundance of upholsterers, so I thought maybe this would be a good spot. So it turned out that it worked out well.
Yeah, there's a peace and a pleasant feeling about the place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. It's a good place.
Yeah. Now, actually, where you say you moved out here? Where were you living?
We lived in Mulberry for 39 years,
Okay.
and we moved out here 13 years ago,
Okay. Whereabouts in Mulberry?
right in the middle of town.
All right.
Just across, there's an ambulance garage. Where the water tower, the old water tower,
Yeah.
just right across the street from that.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw that area. Yeah. I think it's called Weflen Square, isn't it?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. So
Well-
I've been pretty active in the community. I was on the fire department for 20 years and town board for, I don't know, a number of years, and community club and a church council member for a number of years. And so we've had an active life in Mulberry.
Where you go to church now?
Same little Lutheran church right out the edge of town.
Okay. All right. And you say you're on the fire department. Have any experiences there? Well, on the fire department, have any experiences there? Any big fires or?
We've had fires, of course, and
Yeah.
looking back, I don't know why the hell I ever did it, because I took chances, and it's not a very safe thing.
No.
Went into houses where I had no business in being, or
Oh, boy.
climbing around the roofs, and
Yeah. Well, I hate to see a house fire.
yeah,
It just breaks your heart.
had a couple of fatalities one time, and
Oh.
that was hard. A young kid, and
Oh. Wow. Yeah, not an easy task. Well, we always give our veterans a chance to say a few words for posterity. You got any words of wisdom or personal philosophy that's kind of gotten you by in life?
words of wisdom, really, I don't have any words of wisdom. We've had a good life, and we had a good wife, and we got great kids.
Yeah.
I thank God for all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just thanking God for all of that is just a pretty good thing to put up and to go by.
Well,
He's the author of a lot of good things.
yeah. Without that, I think it'd be pretty tough.
Sure would.
Without faith.
Well, Seaman Weflen, I want to thank you for this interview and for your service to our country.
Well, thank you for putting up with me.
Oh, I really appreciate it. I've enjoyed this.
Well, good.
This has been